how do you add value to relationships, to someone you want to meet within the entertainment industry, to a potential creator in the entertainment industry, or just really anyone in life, or anyone that you want to meet and build a relationship with? How do you add value?
Live the life you love.
So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to give y'all 6 quick tips about adding value. So the first tip is community building. So community building is whatever community you live in, whatever your local community is. There's two communities you're really serving, right? It's your local community, and then it's your industry. So when it comes to your local community, when you're serving that community, what can you do to add value? For starters, organize some volunteer events, like volunteer and be active in your community. So I used to be part of this church in South Florida called, well, the name isn't relevant, but the church that I was part of, we did this thing every first Saturday called First Saturday Serve. And it's not something that just churches can do, right? Anybody can do this. So work with your local music community, work with some other musicians and some other collaborators, and do a monthly volunteer event. Go volunteer and serve in your community, right? That's a great way to add value to your community. And the great thing about that, if this is something that you're doing genuinely and it's authentic, then that community that you're serving, they're going to support your art, right? And your creations as well. So if you're playing shows, you're putting out music, and you're building relationships with your local community, those people that you now serve through volunteer events, they're going to come support you. And then the other way you can serve your community as well is just by partnering with local businesses, right? Trying to figure out what kind of local partnerships you can have with other businesses. Maybe put together some local events. You're putting on, art festivals, or you're putting together a food truck event, or a local farmers market, right? It doesn't always need to be big scale and big productions, but if you collaborate with a few businesses, you add a lot of value to those couple of businesses, right? So that's number one way to add value. The second way is, of course, what y'all are doing, right? Is creating your art. The art is the art is value as well. So you're creating value through your art, and just keep in mind, art is subjective, right? So just because you're creating music, or you're creating comedy skits, you're creating YouTube videos, podcasts, just keep in mind it is subjective, right? So I always say, there's people that love the Beatles and think the Beatles are highly overrated, right? So art is subjective, but if you figure out what it is that your community is craving and what it is they want, and maybe you communicate with your community, write songs that are specific to their struggles, their wants and needs, right? That's how you can really add value through entertainment, right? By writing some about real shit, like things that people care about. So entertainment is the second way to add value to relationship. The third one would be education. People love to learn stuff. So, I try to teach through my podcast, teach about the music business, teach about marketing, entrepreneurship, and finance, right? Those are the areas I focus on. And we focus on working with musicians, managers, venues, and promoters, right? Those are our main target audiences. So really know who your audience is, what it is you want to teach your audience, and put together some lessons and some tutorials, some ebooks, whatever it is. You do some educational podcasts, educational videos. People love to learn, right? And if you can create some education for your community, that's a third way you can add value and serve your community. Then the fourth way out of the 6 is utility. So the definition of utility is the state of being useful, profitable, or beneficial, right? So basically, it's how do you make something easier or more convenient for someone, right? So if I pick up my phone, I can literally press a button and someone's going to pick me up and give me a ride. Or I can press a button and someone's going to come and deliver groceries, right? Or deliver food from a local restaurant that I really like. So how can you make someone's life a little bit easier? So if it's someone you've already developed a little bit of a relationship with, there's a little bit of an introduction already, you know each other, you've met once before, but haven't really had time to talk, but there's maybe intention to talk again, but the person you're trying to meet and network with, right? Maybe it's an agent, maybe it's a manager, maybe it's someone within the industry. They're just busy. People in the industry are always busy, and everyone's busy, right? It's life. I mean, even though I'm a manager and I teach, I have a kid, I have a family, right? There's only so many hours in the day. So just keep in mind, people are busy. But if you're going to a conference, and musicians, y'all should definitely be going to conferences, right? There's some great ones out there. There's the DIY musician conference. There is what else is out there? I'm blanking on conferences. There's so many. There's South by Southwest. There's the Billboard Booking and Touring Conference, the Polestar Live Conference, right? There's the APAP Conference in January in New York City. So there's a lot of great conferences. So if you get to the conference a day early and there's someone that you already have a little bit of an established relationship with, meet them at the airport and offer them a ride, right? Offer to pay for their Uber, or maybe you have a rental car. Give them a ride to the conference or a ride to their hotel. And while you're in the ride, right, you might not be able to see them at the conference again because maybe they're speaking, or maybe they're just busy with meetings. Maybe they have a booth and just don't have time to do a sit down 30-minute, 60-minute meeting. If you meet them at the airport, pay for their ride, and you're hanging out in an Uber ride with them for 30 minutes, that's 30 minutes of undivided attention that you have now, that you can have a conversation with them and build a stronger relationship, right? So that's one way you can maybe utilize utility to add value and build relationships. So just get creative with it. How can you make something more convenient with someone, right? So again, it's all about adding value to open a door to build these relationships. And then the fifth way to add value out of the six is promotion. And it's like co-promoting something, right? So either collaborating with somebody and promoting each other, or it's someone with a mutual interest, a mutual audience. Maybe you do an email list trade, right? So don't give away your email list to somebody and don't let them give them theirs. But what you could do, you could send an email to your list of another musician. And Twitch is amazing, right? The community building y'all have here on Twitch is so amazing. So you could literally utilize your email list, send someone your group an email, and if it's already in a group of Twitch users, they're going to be probably into whatever you recommend on Twitch, right? So maybe it's another artist on Twitch you recommend, and same thing vice versa. They'll recommend you. So you're trading lists, right? So that's another way to add value to one another musician, and then two, to their audience. So again, all about adding value to develop these relationships, right? Another favorite one that I did a show once in downtown Orlando with this band called Enter the Haggis. They're like an Irish rock pop band. And they're right down the road. There was an Irish pub, a really well-known Irish pub that was visited by a lot of people, right? Probably a lot of the fans went there anyway before the show. Had like a little Irish themed night. But what we did with this pub is we organized a co-promotion. So we would do posts for them, about any kind of specials they have, maybe specials they had day of the show, go to the pub and hang out before you come see Enter the Haggis. And then they promoted us. They promoted a show that is coming up, and Enter the Haggis was going to do a hangout at the pub afterwards, right? So the band, of course, agreed to this in advance. And then after the show, the band went to the pub. We paid for their meals to kind of entice them to get to the pub. And then fans from the show came and hung out in the pub, made some money, and Irish fans, we love to drink beer, right? So they sold a lot of beers and a lot of fish and chips. So it was a really, really good time, right? So figure out a way you can add those kinds of co-promotions as well. Then the last way to add value is currency, right? So paying someone. You could either use fiat US dollars, or you could use cryptocurrency. You could, and if it's on Twitch, you could offer bits to someone, right? So if there's a collaborator you want to work with, and you have a couple hundred followers and they have a few thousand followers, right? It's probably gonna be really hard to figure out a way to add value for them. But if you pay them, you could pay them to collaborate with you on a song, or pay them to be on your podcast or your YouTube channel, right? So currency and paying someone is another way to add value. So I'm gonna add a little bit more to utility in a second, because I feel like I skipped something. But you have community building is one, entertainment, education, utility, promotion, and currency, right? So real quick, back to the utility portion. If there's a musician or a songwriter that you want to collaborate with, figure out a way. And adding value is always up to you. It's never up to asking someone on how you can add value to them, right? You always want to figure it out on your own. So if you see someone that is creating a lot of long form content, so again, this video, and this can be an audio version too. I'm gonna release this as audio on the podcast. But if so, I'm going to utilize Twitch a lot as an example, since I'm streaming it on Twitch right now. It's kind of like my first test stream. But if you have another collaborator and they're doing these long form videos on Twitch, and you see their Instagram channel is kind of empty, they're not really doing much with their Instagram, or their YouTube's kind of empty, they're not doing much with that, right? Why? And you're great at editing video and creating little micro content pieces. Why not reach out to those creators, offer to do that for them for free for 3 months, 6 months, in exchange for a regular collaboration with you, right? So their fans get exposed to you, and then maybe you can more quickly build up your followers on Twitch, or wherever it is you're trying to build up your followers, right? So those are the 6 ways you can add value. And then the last thing I'll add to close, any relationship, right? Look at it as there's a relationship bank account, right? So whenever you add value to a relationship utilizing one of those six strategies, look at it as you're making a deposit into that relationship, right? So it's a positive. So every time you add value, look at it as adding $1 to your relationship bank account. And then whenever you have an ask or a call to action, look at that as a withdrawal. So you're withdrawing $3 from the bank account, right? So withdrawals or call to actions are worth a lot more than adding value. So what you want to do, you always want to add more value to a relationship than taking from a relationship, right? Call to actions could be buy my music, go follow me on Spotify, go subscribe to my YouTube channel, go follow me on Instagram, right? Those are all call to action. Subscribe to my email list. Those are all call to action. So those are all withdrawals from your relationship bank account. And nobody wants to be friends with the person that's always asking for rides, always asking to bum a dollar, always asking if you can spot them for their meal or buy them a coffee, right? But never really add anything to the relationship. You really want to be in a relationship with a friend that's always there for you, right? That's always, they're going to give you a ride and they're going to have great conversations with you all the time. And they're just always there for you and you're always there for them, right? That's a good relationship with a good balance. So as it comes to your business and your music career, figure out ways how you can always add value. So I'm going to stick around for a second on the Twitch, but as far as the podcast goes, I hope y'all learned a lot from this. If you want to learn more, check out the Making It Academy on patreon.com/Making It Academy. We have lots of long format lessons there. We have one-on-one coaching there. We have live workshops. That's the best way to start, right? So start with the live workshops. And those are $20 a month. In the live workshops, we meet live twice a month. And whoever shows up live, we're literally working through issues that they're currently working on, or working through goal setting and figuring out what kind of goals would be good goals for their career, see where they're at in their career. We work through ads. A lot of people are running ads and they're not getting the results they want. So we help optimize their ads during the their ads during the workshop. All kinds of other stuff, right? We if they have upcoming shows and the tickets aren't selling well, we figure out how can they promote their show better. So that's a $20 value. You get to join live and ask questions live, and whoever's there live, I usually pick on people and figure out, okay, hey, so and so, where are you at right now with your upcoming show, right? So it's really fun with the live workshop. But $20 is too much. Start at $10. You get access to all the recordings, and if $10 doesn't work, if that's too much, do $1. You can do $1 a month, contribute, so I can continue to do more content like this. Hopefully this content is valuable. So by talking about adding value. And again, and sometimes money's just super tight, right? You just can't even afford a single dollar. So subscribe, follow wherever you're watching this. Would really, really appreciate the support. And yeah, thank y'all so much for listening. Until next time, spread love, positivity, and kindness in the show. Messing up my sign off. Spread love, positivity, and kindness in the world, and live the life you love. Peace, my friends. Live the life you love.